Hey everybody, this is Patrick, and today we're taking a look at RollerCoaster Tycoon Deluxe, which is the first RollerCoaster Tycoon, and probably one of the first games that I have a very strong memory of in any regards. This game brings back tons of memories of my childhood, and I actually found it on Steam. It popped up on my homepage or something. Yeah, I got it on sale for like 10 bucks for all three RollerCoaster Tycoons, including like 1, 2, and 3, and all the expansions for those, which was a steal in my opinion, because these games are like classics, and these bring back so many good memories of. It's just crazy. This game is crazy for coming out in 1999. So for anyone who lives under a rock or never played RollerCoaster Tycoon, it was a roller coaster, more like a theme park management game, released by Atari back in 1999, and it was developed by Chris Swayer Productions, who went on to do number 2 as well, I believe. This game, the original probably doesn't work anymore, so it was really cool to see this kind of like one that works just natively on Windows 10. I just downloaded it, installed it, and it just runs. It holds up. This game really holds up to the test of time, I think. And like I said, this one comes with all 3 of the Oops. Alright, see how quick that loads in. New game. So you have all 3 expansions. You have the original RollerCoaster Tycoon, which came with quite a few maps, or scenarios, I guess you should say. There is no free play. In the original RollerCoaster Tycoon game, it was only scenarios which you could go on to keep playing after you finished the objective or failed the objective, so it was kind of like a free play, but they all had objectives involved. You start off with about these first 3, I believe, and as you beat each a level, another one opens up until you get to the bottom. Corkscrew Follies is the expansion, which I forget what the theme of this one was, and then you have Loopy Landscapes, which was, as you would assume, like crazy landscapes that you could build parks in. But here's an example of the first level in the game, which is Forest Frontiers. So this is what you get. You start off, park's closed, nothing. You got nothing. So you can move it around, drag with the right click, and this is your park. Everything inside the white fence is yours to build in. It is a little bit small. I'm going to say the one thing it does not hold up is the resolution this game can be played at, because I'm playing it in a window that's about a quarter of the size of my screen. For reference, I'm running on a 1440p monitor, which is 2560 by 1440, which is twice as many pixels as a 1080, I think. So it's like a quarter of the screen. On a 1080 monitor, this would be a lot better, but alas, that's not what I'm using. But it's totally playable, so I can totally play this game still. So up at the top, you have all your menus. The menu and UI design is a little bit old and there's a lot of quality of life features that might not be featured in this game, like in modern games, but it's 100% playable still, and I had no trouble jumping right back into it and just jumping back like I was playing when I was a kid. I'm not going to be going through all the ways this game plays, because that would be a different video. I just kind of wanted to highlight this because I was playing it recently. I'm probably going to put it back on the backlog for a little while now. I played for about 10 hours or something, which is still a long time. But I just wanted to highlight it before I put it away in my backlog, because that's kind of what I'm aiming to do with this series in a way. So here we are. So you can build tons of attractions. They're into different designations here. So you have the travel. I believe these are the travel rides or something like that. So these are like monorails that you can use to bring people around the park in different areas. You have your gentle rides, which is kind of like your family-friendly rides. You have a haunted house, merry-go-round, go-karts, and the slide. You have your roller coasters, which are just roller coasters. You have your thrill rides, like your swinging ship, like any rides that go a little quicker that aren't quite roller coasters. Water rides, and then you have your food stalls and bathrooms. It might not look like there's actually quite a bit of rides in this game, especially for being the first one. There's more in the second and third ones, obviously. But you unlock new ones by these research and development, so you can fund. You go to here, you can choose your funding, how much you want to pay, or if you don't want to pay at all and have no funding on it, which means you won't research future rides and scenery and stuff. You can choose what you're researching towards. So if you want to only research for roller coasters, you just uncheck all of these, and only roller coasters will be developed from then on. At normal funding, I believe it's about 1 per month of in-game time, which I don't quite know how long it takes. It could take a little while. Game does not have a speed up function, so you're going at 1 speed the whole time. So we're just going to keep it on everything right now. I'm going to keep it off right. No, that's actually okay. I usually take off scenery and theming because I'm usually not focusing on that. I'm usually just kind of having fun building things. There are hotkeys. S is for staff, D is for research and development, R is for rides and attractions, that kind of stuff. So I don't think it actually tells you the hotkeys. It does not. So you kind of got to figure that out for yourself. But other than that, you have all your financial information. This is a sim game, so there is lots of information that you can get. It gives you a pretty good breakdown of how much you're spending per month, and on what your income is, your park value over time, all those kind of fun things. And like I said earlier, the objective of this game is to... Let's actually pause the game right now, because we're not actually playing anything yet. We're just kind of wasting time and money. So the objective is to whatever it is on here. So in this one, the very first game, you have to have at least 250 guests in your park, which is displayed at the bottom left, along with your current available cash. And on the right, you have your weather, and then the day, or the year, and then the month. And so you have to have 250 guests at the park at the end of October year 1. So we have until October of this year, with a park rating of at least 600. Our park rating right now is 0 because we have nothing, and then we can see guests in park. And then we can also adjust admission price. It tells you our park size and how many guests are in there and any awards you might get. So right now, let's go ahead and start real basic. We're just going to go ahead and put in, let's say, probably the swinging pirate ship. I usually find this one does really well to start off with. And we'll just stick that right next to the entrance. I can't build things while the game's paused. So put that there. So easy to put down a ride. You just put it down, put the entrance, put the exit. And then it pulls up the little menu for each ride individually, so you can check out the ride, like an overview of it, where it is in the map. You can adjust things if you like. When you ride improvements would increase these things or give you more options, should I say, for roller coasters especially. You can change like the car design and those kind of things about that. Here you have lots of operation kind of things you can mess with. So different rides have different operation modes. Obviously, the swinging ship only has swinging mode because that's all the swinging ship does. But for other games, they will have different ways or different rides will have different ways they can operate, which is really fun to mess with. You can do wait times, so you can make it wait for a full load every time. You can make it wait for a 3/4 load, half load, quarter load, or any load. So if one guest gets on, there's no one else online, it'll just start. How many swings it'll swing for, you can adjust that up and down. There is a minimum, so you can't just like cheap guest onto one swing per ride or something. And there's a maximum as well. You can do minimum and max waiting time. So if you wanted to wait a maximum of 1 minute for a load, then it will go regardless of waiting for a full load or not. You get its reliability, which adjusts over time depending on how reliable the ride's been. Its downtime, and then you can choose to get it inspected by your inspection, or to get it inspected by your park maintenance guys, which are these dudes. And they will, when they're not in fixing rides that break down, they will go ahead and inspect rides according to the intervals that you've set. You can adjust color of the structure, so we can make it all black rails with a white base or whatever you want. The ship as well. Most rides have ways you can customize coloring and stuff. It's got a pretty big selection. These are test results, kind of like the, we'll go through that in a second. Those are just kind of like your statistics on it, how nausea-inducing it is, how this or that it is. We're going to set this to 250 right now. You can see the income, running cost, and all that stuff, and see how much you've made over time. And then you can see guest thoughts on it, how many customers per an hour, the popularity of it, satisfaction, and the queue time. It gives you a very detailed breakdown. If you want to get into the details of these kind of things, you can totally do that. So on the footpaths, you have your regular footpaths. You can adjust what they look like. We're just going to go with the basic pavement because we have, and then queues, which are these. These you put in the entrance, and they will make a queue. We're going to do this. This gets a little bit finicky. You can double right click to get rid of queues. It gets a little bit finicky if you want to go like here. You kind of gotta like finesse it into there, but it's a little bit. That's one of the things. The queues are a little bit hard to like get where you want exactly. So you kind of gotta plan that out ahead of time. So we're gonna put that down. We're just gonna open the ride, and then we're gonna open the park and put the entrance fee for like $5. It's best to raise that slowly. I usually do in $5 intervals, as I get comments being like, "Your park's really cheap," and then you kind of up it by like $5 at a time or something. So we're gonna leave funding on that. See, and then as you kind of go through time, it tells you what kind of, it slowly updates what kind of ride it's doing. So say type general ride, and it says or gentle ride, it's designing it, and then as it gets farther, it'll tell you like what kind of ride it, or like what the ride is, and you'll kind of have an idea of what it's gonna be. So let's go ahead and do, we're not going to spend too much time. We're not going to play through a map or anything. It can take upwards of like 20-30 minutes probably of playing constantly, which we're not going to do right now. What we are going to do is we're going to look at the roller coaster design, because I think that's one of the things that you play RollerCoaster Tycoon for, as it turns out. So roller coasters, we start off with two. We have the steel mini roller coaster and then the old school wooden roller coaster. When you click on them, you get a list of rides that you can already build. This is the Mischief. You can't look at it, and yeah, you can, a little, kind of. If this little, as much as this little window gives you, which isn't much. Again, this game was developed about almost 30 years ago. No, 20 years ago. We're looking at what, 17 years, 18 years, I think, for this game now. Something crazy. I think it's 18 years. crazy. So you get this huge. I mean, this ride is enormous and probably cost me upwards of a ton of money to build that I probably can't afford. I can't even construct this here. Let's go see where I can try to figure where I can put this thing at. It's so freaking huge. $12,000. I don't have $12,000. Another thing this game could use is a way to kind of tell you how much it's going to cost before you try to build it, because unfortunately it does not. There's no way to see how much it's going to cost you. Then of course you have a lot of other small, or not really smaller ones, I guess. These I don't think were included in the apps in the original version of the game. I think these were added in on the, like, this ride is so big I can't even fit it on the, I don't think I can fit this ride in my park. I don't even think that's possible. Nope. I'm pretty sure this ride is too big to even fit in the park. You have a lot of smaller versions like this. You have this weird kind of loop one here. I still can't construct there. So you have a ton of different options for pre-builts, or you just go build custom design, and this is where a lot of the fun of the game comes. If you're into the management part, that's a lot of fun. If you're not and you want to build rides, you just start a place, and then it's really intuitive in a way to build this. I'm sure the other future games kind of implement better ways of doing this, but this is actually not very hard to understand. You have your different bends, like your angle of bend, your straightaways. You have slope increase and decreases up here. The chain lift for pulling them up, and then like tilting. That's kind of it. You just go. So let's just turn this to the side. We're going to start the chain lift up, and we just kind of build. Oops, not that what I want to do. I'm trying to use WASD to move the camera. That's not how this game functions. So we can just do a really simple one. And like turn the chain lift up here, we can do a loop, we can start going down, and then we can curve it as we go down into like a helix here. We can then flatten back out, go up, we can go up without a chain lift, so it's kind of like a little loop, or not loop, a little bump. We gotta go to this tree here. Double right click is a way to remove things, which is really helpful. We don't want to go too crazy right now because I don't think I can afford much too crazy. So we're going to go up again. Let's do one more little chain lift up. We'll try to take it back down. I don't think I'm going to run out of space here. So let's go back down. This is nothing. I mean, this is just real basic and real quick. You can go real crazy, and there's like specials. So you could do like these weird, like kind of weird S-bends, they call them, on photo sections, breaks, all that kind of fun stuff. Different, more advanced roller coasters, like your metal ones and like your suspended ones and stuff, have a lot more options for like crazy loop-to-loops and all that kind of stuff. Right now we don't have those. I think those come with ride improvements, like when you research the ride improvements. And then more advanced roller coasters obviously have more advanced, complicated track selection you can make. So let's go ahead and just make this weird queue here. Make it kind of long, because this ride will probably be really popular. Roller coasters in this game are the key to a lot of money. You can charge like $5 a ticket for these things, and people will ride them like there's no tomorrow, provided you don't like make them so intense that like people don't want to ride them. We're going to test it first to make sure it doesn't crash, because if you played this game before, you know that roller coasters have a tendency to blow up in this game if you're not careful, which is real entertaining, but it's also not good for making money. This mission's really easy too. Like if you want to actually play through it correctly, we're in April of year 1. We've got 5 guests, but we've only opened the park for like a tiny bit of time. Once you get like a big ride like this in here, it'll pick up a lot. Let's see, this is real. I might not even need this. I don't think I even need that chain loop right there, which is probably can even be removed. But that's an easy ride. It worked. Nothing crazy. It's probably not too intense. We can probably open it now. We'll be okay. So you can go here, it's opening up, we can look at the test results. So its max speed is 43 miles per hour, its average speed is only about 13. It has ultra high intensity somehow, but low excitement and very high nausea. I don't think that's ultra high intensity, but you know, whatever. People are already in line for it, that's fine. You have lots of other options here with roller coasters. Here you'd be able to do like different kind of trains, or you can adjust like one train of more cars in one train, or 2 trains and 7 cars. So you have lots of options like that with this kind of thing. See, looks too intense for him, yeah. And someone doesn't want to pay that much to go into the swinging ship, so we'll drop it down to $2. You always want to keep an eye on your guests, like what they're thinking about things. So if someone wants to go on something worth thrilling, you can click on this little icon here and get people thinking about the certain ride, which is useful for trying to check why a ride is not getting popular right now. if the lines died down a lot, you can be like, well, I guess no one wants to ride that because it costs too much or it's too intense, like this roller coaster probably is. But with that being said, we're going to hop out of this. We're going to hop into one of my saved games. You're not going to be able to see this, I don't think. This is Forest Frontiers. This is my version of Forest Frontiers when I beat the game. So this is what I had. This was also partially constructed by my girlfriend, who helped with this park, but I think this one's broken down. Yeah, it's broken down right now. So this is what I had. This is March of year 2, so it's barely started the new year. We barely beat it. And I have $7,000 right now and 500 guests. So I had double the guest rating, or double the guest amount, and 200 more park rating than I needed. It wasn't hard to do. And once you start getting, like, you can just hear the money racking up right now of people just running into these rides. Are we sure we have mechanics? Yeah, we do have mechanics, but... So, once you get a good park going, you make money pretty easily. Like, it's not a very, it's not hard to make money in this game once you kind of got a good base going. Once you got roller coasters and stuff going, people pay a lot of money for. This one's only at 150 right now. I probably could charge more. No, you know what? Okay. 150 is probably about right. This... Something I totally forgot about. I was saying $5 per ride and stuff, which is... You probably could charge out $5 per ride for some of the big roller coasters you have, but you won't get as many guests on. This is... I was going to go into this later in the video, which will probably be like now. Is that the reason why I'm not playing this game, or why I'm going to put it back on my shelf and kind of be done with it for the time being, is because that I discovered RollerCoaster Tycoon Classic on the iOS devices, so iPad and iPhone. And it's kind of just RollerCoaster Tycoon 1 on the phone. And it works really well. It's got a couple problems, but it works really well. And that's kind of discovered how I think I want to play this game right now. Is that it's fun to play while I'm just... If I got a couple minutes to kill, I can just load it up my iPad or whatever, or my iPhone even, and just play it. And it's fine. It works. It's kind of really easy to pull it that way. Whereas I'm discovering when I'm sitting down on my computer to play something, I'm looking to kind of play a more intense experience. This is a lot of fun too. I don't mind playing on my computer, but I just think that playing on my phone was a better way of doing it. So that's how I kind of want to play this. Of course, it's only the first one on the phone. It does not include 2 or 3, so I will play through those on my computer for a little while at least. And then we'll also do subsequent videos on those, probably comparing them to how they compare to this game, even. But that's the reason why we're putting this one away right now. And in the phone game, one of the things I noticed is that you can't set the park entrance fee. Where in this park, I have it set to $24 right now. In the phone version, it's always set to free, so you have to charge more per rides to make up the money that you're not making from the entrance fee. Whereas every time someone walks in this park, I'm making 24 bucks from them. That's the main part of your income. Of course, like, you know, when you get 20 people on a ride at $1.50 each, you make a good bit of money. But that's not... I mean, it adds up, but it's not like the park entrance fee of 24 bucks a pop, or in some of my other parks, which I have on here, probably a little bit more. We won't save, I already have that saved. Bumblebee Beach, I think, was one that I beat. Did I beat Whispering Cliffs? Let's try Bumblebee Beach. There's another park that I was working on. I think I beat this one, even. The rotation of this game also only rotates in 4 directions, so it gets kind of weird after a while trying to rotate the park. It's something you kind of learn to live with. So this park starts off with one roller coaster, this giant one here. I'm going to charge $250 a pop for it now, because I was charging, I think it charged $5 when I first started, but I had to lower it down because people weren't riding as much. There's lots of weird nuances with what people paid to ride rides, and the age of the ride, and like how new it is and stuff, will determine how much they're willing to pay for it. As the ride gets older, they'll pay less for it, and you have to kind of adjust prices as... You just kind of watch your lines. When they get really low, you should probably adjust the price a little bit. It's not hard to do, as you can get a watch. It's part of the management of this game, I guess. So if you want to look at like a developed park like this one is, it's not very pretty at all, but it's functional, and it's got lots of guests. We have 800 guests in this park, and I have $14,000. Park entrance fee in this one is set to $35 right now. You see my income from admissions is $22,000 in this game. This one is year 3. So it did take me a little bit longer. I think the objective was to 750 guests in October year 2 with park rating of 600. My park rating is 900, and I have 800 guests, almost 900. I'm running out of space in this park though, so there's not much more I could do. Which is kind of why you go to bigger parks. You can buy more space, but I don't think it's an option on this one. This is show construction, buy construction rights. So I can buy a lot of the land, looks like out front of the park here. All these little... Okay, so there's quite a bit of land to buy in this park. It's all in the front, though. Where you can see I can buy... I can't buy land to the right or the left, but I can buy land all the way up to the front and all the way up into this beach area. It looks like to buy it, you just kind of click on it, and I have $40 there now. Oh, okay. Even more interesting is that is construction rights, so that I can construct rides that leave the park, but I can't actually buy the land outside the park. So this is buying land completely, so I can just extend my whole park, and then this is construction rights, so I can construct rides that maybe leave the park here and have a little more space for like roller coasters to go. Different parks have different setting boundaries for that. So let's look at the finances real quick. You can see here's a breakdown of a developed park here. You can see how much you spent on ride construction, your ride running cost, your landscaping you've paid, park entrance fee tickets, which per month is my main income. Looks like about $2,000 a month on just ride ticket or park entrance. Ride tickets are about $1,000, almost $2,000 depending on the month. Shop sales, stocking the shops, how much it costs you, staff wages, all this kind of stuff. And then you also have loans that you start off the game with a $10,000 loan, and you pay interest on that every month here in the form of about $14 it looks like per month on a $9,000 loan. It's not a huge amount at all, so I'm not worried about that. You can pay it off and not pay interest on the loan, but if it's not a lot, it's not a big deal. So that's RollerCoaster Tycoon. Like, you get the base of it. You manage a theme park. You want to keep your money up. There's lots of objectives you can do. We can look at some of the more crazy ones now as we talk. So the expansions that came with it, you got, let's see, Three Monkeys Park. So this one is called Corkscrew Follies, and we have a park that is looks like you already have this roller coaster set up. So you have three. So it's called the Three Monkeys, and they're going to be called See No Evil. So you have three rides right up on top of each other here, and they all kind of go together, which is super cool. Like, you could do this. You could build this in this game. It would be very hard. This would be extremely difficult and cost a lot of money to build, but you can do it. And that's one of the great things about this game, is that you can just build the crazy, like, these rides are huge. Of course, this one starts you off with that, and then gives you an objective around that. I think it's kind of the theme of Corkscrew Follies, is that, like, each of these kind of gives you an objective, like this, let's see, Funtopia? So you have, oh, yeah, here we go, a rather small park with like one or two really big roller coasters on it that you then have to kind of take to be bigger. So you have 1,400 guests in this one, which is a pretty big increase from like some of the other rides you have. So this is like, that's the theme of Corkscrew Falls. Like, you get a lot of parks with really big roller coasters already in them, and you have to kind of make them better. Loopy landscapes, I'm going to give you an idea of what that is. It's probably really crazy landscapes, you think? So you can go to Volcanica, which is the site of a dormant volcano that has a roller coaster going through it, as it turns out. This is a much harder one to build on because of the way the map is set up. It's kind of huge. So, like, you have to play with the verticality in this one a lot, and the height. Hope you can ignore my iPhone going off on the side. My phone is going off here. So you have to play with like the verticality and like the height of it, and that's a real crazy objective and like real crazy twist on what you're already doing. It's not an easy thing to do. And then the objectives for this one is to finish all 5 of the partially built roller coasters in this park, designing them to achieve an excitement rating of at least 6.7 each. So in this one, you have a bunch of half-made. You can see the half-made roller coasters here. You have to finish each of these things, which are, you know, going through mountains and other kinds of crazy things that are hard to, kind of hard to get a grasp on. That's the overview map. You can do the site thing. You can look at the underground view, and you can kind of see where they kind of go through. It's not a great view, but you got an idea of where they're going, and you try to finish them all with that excitement rating, and that's the goal for this one. And they do in the expansions that play around with the objectives a little bit more than they do in the base one. And then they also got some real parks. I think these are, I forget where these are from, but Alton Parks. I don't know where this is at, but this is like a rebuild of what is of a real park, I assume. And I mean, it's cool. It looks really cool. Yeah, you got a lot of things over here. What do we got here? Oblivion. Got a lot of cool rides. Of course, when they've done parks like this, they've done lots of things with the scenery that you can also do, but I don't mess with the scenery too much just because I'm not very good at it, and it's time consuming, that I'm just more interested in building the roller coasters. So this turned out to be a lot longer a video than I intended it to be. I eventually just kind of wanted to start talking about RollerCoaster Tycoon and why I was going to put it away, and then I got just stuck into talking about RollerCoaster Tycoon and how much I love this game. I'm going to be playing it on my my mobile devices over the computer versions. That's why this one's being put on the back burner here and kind of put away on the shelf for now. I mean, I'm sure I'll hop back into it at some point just because of its RollerCoaster Tycoon, and it's a game that I really enjoy and one that I will always probably hop back in for nostalgic reasons. And that's kind of the reason I love this game. It's just it brings back so many memories. The money sounds, the theme song, the people laughing, like it's memories that I've had of playing this game as a kid, and it's a ton of fun. I mean, I implore you guys, if you guys have any kind of nostalgic memories of this game, if you never played it and kind of want a theme park manager, this is one of the best ones still. I know Coaster, what is the one that came out now? I forgot the call. I forgot what it was called. Not the RollerCoaster Tycoon Worlds. That one's bad. It's the other one. I forgot what it's called now, but it came out. It's supposed to be really good. I'm looking at picking that game up in the near future just because I really want to play a new modern interpretation of this game. The old one is still great. We will have videos on 2 and 3 as I play them and kind of get through them some more and get my thoughts on them together. But yeah, that's the reason I'm not playing this one. This is a great game, and I really implore you guys to pick it up. It is $25 normally for the collection of all 3 games and all the expansions, which is still not a bad deal for the amount of content you're getting and the amount of fun you'll probably have with this game. But if you pick up like I did on a sale for like around $10, it is a steal, and you should absolutely pick it up. It is 100% worth your time. Anyways, that's it, guys. We're putting this one on the back burner. Pop the balloon here. Put it on the back burner. I'm playing it on the phones. If you want to look it up on your phone, look up RollerCoaster Tycoon Classic it's on iOS. I don't know if it's on Android. It might be. It works pretty well. There's a couple weird quality of life things that I don't like the way they function in that game, but it's totally playable. It's a lot of fun still, and it runs totally fine on mobile devices as it should. Look how old this game is. I mean, it's really old, but it's got a look to it still that I kind of enjoy. Like, it's not bad to look at. It looks a little bit busy over here and stuff, but I don't know. Something about this game, man. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. This has been Patrick. I guess I'll see you guys in the next one. I got Fallout coming up pretty soon, and maybe another game series I'm going to start up pretty soon. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have any thoughts about this game, questions, comments, critiques, criticism, whatever, all in the comments, please. I would love to read them all. And if you guys enjoy the content, please do subscribe. I'll see you guys later.